Again. It's a bit like Parkinson, this, isn't it?
Have we got any more light?
Yeah, a bit of light.
Okay, have you got any less light? Oh, hope that wasn't too painful. I hate it. I hated every minute of it. We need to rehearse more. No, it was
Just
all
didn't
right.
have time. No, it was good fun.
This is
I liked it.
Toby. Has he introduced himself? This is Toby Harris
This is
from
Toby
100% Records.
Hi everyone.
He's the star of the show.
Hardly. But I did want to start by thanking everyone for coming on behalf of 100% and management. It means a lot to us. We've been working on this campaign for over a year with these two fellas. It's been a pleasure, and here we are on the 1st of September.
Yeah,
it comes
album's
so
finally
quickly.
It's finally out.
Yeah. So, as you all know, over the last couple of days, we've been taking questions on Facebook. We've got a couple new ones coming in, but I'll start with the ones that we've got from yesterday. First question from Ian Jackson. Where did the inspiration for the album title come from?
We know this one. Next question. The title is stolen from a painting in the Liverpool Art Gallery, the Walker Art Gallery in Liverpool. And I have to make it clear that the title has been appropriated, but not the meaning, because the original painting is misogynist. It's a painting of bad mothers floating in purgatory because they wanted more than just life outside of the kitchen, the bedroom, and the nursery.
And we don't like that. So,
No,
so that's not the meaning.
so we stole the title, but not the meaning. We have to keep saying that. So the way we see the title is that most people in the Western world are materially fairly well off. They don't have to spend all day worrying about food and the roof and disease or warfare. So we're fair game for all of the marketing men who every single thing you think you know, you think you thought, and you think you believe in, was probably put there by a marketing. So you have to stop and think about what's really worth having and what's not worth having. And what's really worth having is our new album called The Punishment of Luxury.
Exactly.
Because don't think the irony has been lost on us.
Exactly, yeah. We see the dilemma.
We're not selling you something to replace your old records. This is an extension of a beautiful journey.
I hope we've done a good marketing campaign.
Shut up! So did we answer that question? That's one for
Thanks.
Paul. I'm getting in trouble here.
The next question from Cameron Snook.
Yep.
What was the first song that you worked on for this album, and what inspired it?
The funny thing is, we go back to The Punishment of Luxury because it was a song that we started for History of Modern. Actually, we had the tune and the chords, but we didn't have the vocals or the sort of style of it, and we just kind of forgot about it, really. And then we sort of dug it out. We never throw anything away that we think is half good. So we kept that and then just revisited it, didn't we?
The funny thing is, the melody is at least 8 years old. And we forgot about it. And I thought the melody was great, and I just kept working on it, completely without Paul hearing it. And I stripped it down, and I put the kind of electro drums on it, and the sequencers, and beefed it all up, and I said, I want to call this Punishment. And he went, where did that come from? And I went, you wrote the melody. And he went, I didn't
remember.
I said, look, it says Paul melody part.
So I did. It must have been just one of those sessions we did that we just kind of worked for a few hours.
So the oldest song on the album is actually the title track.
Yeah.
Next question from Steve Morley.
Yay.
First person to get a shout out. You often use
whole family
metaphors
here.
in your songs, sometimes as titles. Is this deliberate part of the songwriting process, or is it subconscious?
Metaphors.
Well, it's I don't know. It's partly deliberate and partly subconscious. But yes, we do. Your mic or mine? Is that wedge still on? Yeah, keep your mic away from that. Toby, you're not used to being on stage, right? let me show you
the mic
something.
away from
That
that.
is Paul's wedge. It's deafening. Stay away from it.
What?
It will make you deaf.
What?
It's still switched on. Jesus. dangerous going to play keyboards at his side of the stage. It's just like,
I like a vibe.
you like death, that's what you
What?
So, metaphor. It's quite hard to write songs about some of the subjects that I want to write songs about. Particularly, I don't dislike love songs. I just try to find a way to say it differently to most other people, so they're all bathed in metaphor and weird alternatives. But a classic example is the song Isotype, because I intended it to be one of those like short little esoteric songs with a bit of text to speak and a sequencer. And then he came to my house and went, "Oh, that's great, can I write a melody on it?" So I sort of extended it to 16 bars with drums and went to put the kettle on. Now, it did take him over an hour to get started on the melody, and he wasn't getting his cup of tea until he'd started.
It's not easy being a genius, you know. I have to
No. If it was, everyone would do it, wouldn't
Exactly.
they, Paul? Yeah. So anyway, the genius bastard wrote a great melody, and then I was like, "Oh no, now this is going to have to be a song. What am I going to write about Isotype?" Look, this really is going to sound like a Kraftwerk song. International System of Typographic Education. And I was bailed out by my phone going, ping! Would you like to have predictive emojis? Hell no. Hang on. Emojis, the new Isotype. Metaphor.
Yeah.
So, yeah, metaphors get you out of jail.
Next question from Jackie Walker.
Mm-hmm.
Why did you decide to release the album on cassette?
Because we could, really. And, you know, we'd been hearing that, you know, there's a lot of vinyl shops that started selling cassette. And then when you said, "Do you want to put it out on cassette?" I was like, yeah. I've had to dust off my cassette machine.
They look great.
Yeah, they look amazing.
The only system I've got that still works, that's why I wanted one.
Question from Randy Wade. Issues of cultural norms and social justice have been prevalent in your music. What are your views on the rights and responsibilities of artists to speak up and exert a sphere of influence? Long question.
That was you taking a deep breath and waiting for me to answer, was it, Paul?
No, I'm just thinking, you know, I'm a little bit slow, so I have to kind of think about the answer.
Do I always have to talk bollocks while you just sit there looking cool?
It's my job.
It's the
to
thing
sit here
of
looking
social
cool.
questions is you don't get to see them before they're asked.
What was it? Is Donald Trump going to kill the world?
Yes.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yes is the answer.
Um,
What was the question?
musicians should write about anything that moves them to do something that they feel strongly enough about. So if you feel you're in love or out of love, then you write about it. If you're interested in art or history, you write about it. And if you're interested in politics, you write about it. The dilemma, I mean, I've said this before, I think the dilemma is, for the most part, musicians can't really change the world, you know?
And you don't want to be preachy either in your songs. I don't think
I
it's good
do.
to be preachy. No, yeah, but I'll stop you.
Thank you. Things that change the world are, you know, disease and natural disaster and guns and occasionally the ballot box.
Yeah.
Musicians can, you know, reflect what's going on or say something as loudly as they can and hope to push it along or just support a movement, but very, very seldom, I think, do musicians actually change the world, even if they want to write about it. In fact, actually, sometimes it can be counterproductive. I mean, I actually think that Trump got more votes from certain people because they heard people like Bruce Springsteen and Katy Perry supporting Hillary, and they went, "Well, you multi-millionaires in your airplanes and your mansions want me to vote for Hillary, so screw you."
Yeah, there is that aspect to it.
Next question from Catherine Hooper.
Hey, hello, Catherine.
Which song from The Punishment of Luxury are you most excited about playing on tour?
Ghost Star, actually, and playing the whole of it. Not just a little snippet.
Can you extend that bit?
I'll work on that. It needs a loop, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I think
Ghost Star.
I think Ghost Star might have to go in the set. The problem is you can't. Listen, you lot demonstrated something tonight. You can't play everything from the new album, and I'll tell you why. Because if you listen to everybody, you got to play this song, you got to play that, but actually you're not listening to everybody. You're listening to a couple of people who are talking on Facebook or Twitter or something. And I said to Paul, I said, all these people, they're here for a reason. They like us. They want to hear something different. They want to do new stuff. Let's not play the hit singles. And when I announced we weren't going to play the hit singles, it was like, tumbleweed. So even the hardest core fans want to hear the hit singles.
Like the hits. I know, exactly. It was shock. It was shock. I like that.
No. No, I don't believe a word of it.
The important thing is to strike a balance, though, because, people do want to hear the hits. People who come to our shows all over the world, they want to hear those songs. So we have to strike a balance and not play for 3 hours, because he couldn't do it for 3 hours, and neither could I.
My voice on my knees could not do it. I think I have to say, though, the great thing is, when we did the English Electric tour, we played 6 songs off English Electric and several more off the other albums, and it sustained the audience interest. And I don't think you were all being polite. I think that people, were not going to the bathroom and the bar, and so I think we work very, very hard on our new records, and certainly the response that we've seen tonight and some of the feedback we've heard so far and some of the reviews suggests that people can see the energy we put in. We're not just going into the studio for a couple of weeks and knocking something off that will do. So we've got a new T-shirt to sell on a new brand tour. So that's a very long answer to, we like all the songs on The Punishment of Luxury, but we can't play them all.
Yeah, exactly. And the next one.
Next question from Mick and Beth Misselli Cooper. Will there be a US tour?
There will be a US tour. Yeah, we're going to be touring in March and April, I think, in the US.
Definitely happening.
Yeah.
I'm not sure there's many Americans.
No, so it probably doesn't mean anything to you lot.
Watching the live stream, I'm sure there are.
Hi.
We had a lot of questions on that.
We are definitely touring America. We just, because everything went late, by the time we finish in Europe, we'll be halfway through December. And there's a lot of places in North America you don't want to be trying to tour in December and January.
Yeah, your trucks just get stuck in the snow, so it'll be March.
Next question from Nick Davey. In the last couple of years, you've celebrated the past with the Royal Albert Hall show, and you've looked to the future with new material. Which is more satisfying for you?
I think they're both satisfying. I love revisiting the old material. It was such a great feeling to get up in the Royal Albert Hall and not play any hits. There was a few hits, but because they were on the album, but not on Dazzle Ships actually. It wasn't any hits on Dazzle Ships, but on Architecture
Kinetic Engineering got to number 20. Doesn't that count as a hit?
I guess so. Yeah, kind of.
Anyway, carry on.
Yeah, but what was great about it was just to have the license to play the whole album, some of the stuff that we've never played before, and to play some B-sides as well in such an iconic venue as the Albert Hall. It was amazing. So yeah, we love to go back and revisit our catalogue because we're proud of them. We're proud of those old records. But also, it's really important for us to keep moving forward as a band, not to just play our old stuff that we still like playing. But it's important for us to keep forging forward and try new things and make new records.
I think the hope is that because we believe that we are making good new music that works in a contemporary environment, that we have earned the right to enjoy celebrating the past as well, and we can, we can do both, and that's nice.
Yeah, it was fun to play, actually. I really like. I think we should maybe throw it in the set sometimes, actually, because and also Telegraph. Yeah, maybe.
Well, we're actually we're thinking of doing something mad on the tour in the autumn, which is allowing people to vote for certain songs at certain.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll provide a list of songs.
But we're not doing Laughing Gnome.
Yeah, because that's what happened to Bowie, wasn't it? He gave people the option, and they all chose Laughing Gnome. It's the worst song ever.
I think we've got time for a couple more questions. Paul Alexander just asked, what's the story behind the birds at the beginning of Ghost Star?
I was standing on the estuary at Port Merion, and I could hear these birds. The call was echoing across the water, and I knew what they were from when I was a kid, but I couldn't remember them. And I thought it was the most melancholy, haunting sound. And so for days, I Googled every sound of every bird in the UK until I found it. It's a curlew. I knew it was. And then I also, around about the time, had fallen in love with, the song that is now the nation's favourite classical piece, The Lark Ascending by Vaughan Williams. And that starts with this amazing suspended string chord, which is D major, it just sounds like air. So, if you heard me say D major to Paul, Ghost Star is inspired by the curlews at Port Merion and Lark Ascending, and that's why it's got larks in it as well. So that's where the inspiration came from.
Well,
Did that make your heart melt?
Two more.
Go on.
Maria Thomas asked, what music were you listening to when you wrote the new record?
Glitch.
I mean, the thing about us is we're most inspired by our own catalogue, really. I mean, we are switched on and listen to things. That's a lovely sound, isn't it?
That's going to be on the next album.
Yeah, can we sample that?
Get that.
But yeah, I mean, we were listening to, it's like the song As We Open, So We Close is our attempt at glitch music, which is like the new sort of electronic movement where you take sort of sounds that you would normally throw away, like bits of distortion and clicks and pops and stuff. And there is a really interesting movement. Most of the glitch stuff is just not very listenable, but there's a German artist called Atom TM, like trademark, and he was the first person we found that combined like glitch music with real beautiful songs and melodies. So As We Open, So We Close on the new album is sort of an attempt at that. So that was an influence.
And the last question, which is another one we were asked lots of times, but we've picked Mark Rogers, was how is Mal?
How is Mal? Mal is good. Yeah.
Mal is God.
Well, Mal is God. Mal is God and Mal is good. Yeah. He's he's very well. He's very well. He's living in Germany with his girlfriend, somewhere between Hanover and Hamburg, in the woods. And his friends are rabbits and deers and stuff like that. And he's totally chilled. And he's really, really good. But, you know, the reality is he can't. For the people who don't know, Mal, our original drummer from school and all the way through OMD, had a cardiac arrest on stage in 2013 in Toronto. And he basically died for sort of 3.5 minutes. And thank God he's still here. The paramedics saved his life. But what was kind of... I mean, if there was a funny side to it, it was when we got to the hospital to see him, because they saved his life and took him to hospital. And the doctor said, so we're a bit worried about brain damage because, you know, his heart stopped for so long. And then Mal chirped up and said, brain damage, I'm a drummer, how can you tell? And at that moment, I thought, yeah, he's fine. You know, he's good.
That's a true story.
That's a true
story. I mean,
story.
you think we made that up? Actually, just a little addendum. 2 weeks ago, I was at a party in Wirral, and this girl came up to me and introduced herself as Emma Holmes. And I went, oh. She said, I'm Mal's niece, and I haven't seen him since I was 2.
Oh, my God, really?
I said, give me your number, he's going to call you. And he's now speaking to the only other blood relative who's still alive in his whole family. He's now talking to her.
Yeah, that's great. And all because she bumped into you.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, you know, Wirral Peninsula is a small world.
It's really small.
But yeah,
Very small.
I didn't even know his brother had a daughter, but yeah, so there you go. Nice touch. But Mal is okay,
Yeah, Mal's great.
and now has a niece who's 39 now, not 2.
That's all the questions we're going to ask. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank
Do
you
we
so
get-
much.
Do we have to go, or do we get to take
We've
one or
got
two
half
from the...
Well, the doors close in half an hour. so
Anybody
if you
got a
wanna do-
burning question?
Here, hold on, I need to do it through the microphone because they can't hear you on the live.
Yeah, who is who? We thought when we did the sleeve that people would say, who's the black and white one and who's
Let's
the
just ask the
colourful one?
question again because they can't hear it.
Which one's the colourful one and which one's the black and white one?
Which one do you think?
We'll leave it open to interpretation.
Hello? I think you have to be the colourful one.
Are you saying I'm black and white?
Do you know, it's funny actually, because I thought that I would be the sort of brutal, square, black and white one.
Me too.
However, maybe, because fortunately for Paul right now, you can't see the bottom of this, because the reality is I should be that one, because it's got a much more defined chin line.
Oh, you bastard. I'll kill you later.
The reality is...
You know you're staying at my house tonight while you're on the balcony.
I'm on the balcony. Yeah. It's actually not supposed to be either of us. But when we soon as we saw it, we thought, oh, people are going to ask us which one's which. We'll have that. yeah. But it's. I don't know. I mean, maybe we'll ask the artist, and maybe he did think.
Yeah, maybe he did.
But he never told us.
No, he didn't. No.
Any more?
Favourite song live?
Favorite song live.
Gosh, that's a tricky one. Julia's song. I mean, I've always loved playing Romance of the Telescope, actually, live. I mean, that's probably one of my favourite ones to play. And we used to finish the whole
Georgia.
night with that. Georgia. Yeah.
There's a lot, yeah. I'm, tell you what, I mean, maybe because we've played it 6 or 7 times more than the other songs we played tonight, I think Punishment of Luxury kicks ass live.
Yeah. We've been playing it in America, and
really well.
we've been playing it with the full band in America and in Mexico just recently. And it just kicks ass. It's great.
We also have a mad idea. There were several things we enjoyed doing at the Royal Albert Hall, but we are contemplating coming down the front again and playing Of All the Things We've Made.
Yeah. With the little keyboards and
That-
the drum and the guitar.
That would be, but you know, I mean, the thing is, you could just go on and on. You could say, oh, this one, yeah, that one, yeah, you know. I really did like doing the Albert Hall when we knew that people had travelled from all over the world and they hadn't come to hear just, you know, Enola Gay, Souvenir or Joan of Arc. And it was just great when, you know, you could see the look on people's faces when we played Or Noi, like we were about to start Enola Gay. It was just, that was just
It was
so...
a great feeling, yeah.
But we know that, you know, most nights we won't have that opportunity. People will want to hear the hits. So we balance them. And listen, there is nothing better than starting the drum machine to Enola Gay or the choirs creeping in for Souvenir and just listening to the audience going, you go, yes!
Result.
Home run coming up!
Yeah, it is fun. Well,
the question was, any thoughts
actually,
for B-sides?
I mean, we have done one B-sides album, and it would be good to update it, really, yeah. Because I've liked some of the B-sides we've done over the last 10 years.
Toby, would you like to... that sounds like money
Yeah.
for old rope. You'd be up for that, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Don't know how many you're going to sell, Toby, but it's a great idea.
Won't cost anything. Yeah. No, in fact, actually, I'm the reason why I'm going to be now sleeping on the balcony at Paul's house is because I'm staying down this weekend because we're going to have a look at remixing the next single and doing the B-side for it. So, because this is another thing we decided to do this year is we hope you are as tired as we are of 57 different spurious remixes that have no reflection on the song. So we're starting to do our own extended 12-inch mixes again. So hopefully you heard the Punishment of Luxury one, which was a blast to make. It was just Humphreys going nuts on his sequencer. Which is, a bit of that. That bit, chop it out.
It was really good fun.
So 40th, yes.
40th, we'll be doing some things for the 40th.
Oh, yeah, we got plans.
Yeah.
Wait.
Have you found where Stuart's come on board, you're more open to the public, you know, because he does the live streaming, he does the Twitter reports, you know, and it's fun to see the backstage action and seeing you guys, you know. How do you feel being opened up a bit
How much
more?
did Stuart pay you to say that?
Yeah, I think that sounds like Stuart asking that one. We love Stuart as well.
And we love Stuart, but you know, Stuart is Stuart's addicted to social media,
and we aren't, basically.
And you know what? It's great. It opens up things that people can see that we haven't done before, either because we didn't want to, or we're lazy, or although you know there's a certain tax to be paid. I mean, if I say to Stuart, "Can you give me that photograph at the end of the show to put on the OMD Facebook?" and he went, "Give me 24 hours on my Facebook page first."
Exactly.
I'm like, okay.
I mean, do you really want to see what happens backstage? All right, okay.
You don't. No,
Yeah, honestly, you don't.
You
It's really, really boring.
It's ugly,
and
and it's getting worse every day.
We're going to finish it there.
Okay.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, everyone, for coming.
Thank you. We'll see you on the road later in the year.
Yeah, come
Enjoy
and see
the
us.
album.
Come and see us on the tour. All right, thanks. See ya.